Walter got a late start that afternoon, so he decided to take the shortcut across the desert when there happened to be a monsoon rainstorm. He and his horse were galloping at a fast rate of speed. They could not see where they were going. When all of a sudden, Walter's horse put on the brakes and Walter almost fell out of the saddle. Walter got off his horse, tied it to a tree, noticed a 9-foot sinkhole that his horse did not want to jump. That is a 9-foot sinkhole right up above. When Walter looked down the hole, he saw 2 saddles along with Native American bones. Yes, the Native American Wallabies used to bury their dead down here, but because we're in Coconino County, Mojave County, not on a reservation, they wanted the bones and saddles removed, and they got that grant through the state of Arizona. They are no longer here. They're back on the reservation. When Walter Peck looked down that hole that rainy afternoon, he couldn't figure out why the water wasn't filling up the hole. You can see why, the caverns. Now the rope they see right here is a replica of Walter's dope on a rope, while Walter and his brother Muscle mined 1 bit out of his pocket, which is a quarter, give you guys a handful of matches and a lantern, and you would put your foot in that syrup right there. Walter and his brother Miles would lower you down, and you hung on for dear life. To me, folks, that looks like a nuisance. Back in 1936, when the Hoover Dam was completed, this is part of the scaffolding from the Hoover Dam. We call it the Swinging Bridge. It was built for Walter back in 1936 by the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps. Now Walter started making some money. Instead of mining 1 bit out of your pocket, he was now mining 2 bits. Again, you can see Walter's natural entrance from underneath when it's a bunch of railroad ties and 2x4s. When we supply with a helmet, this is our explorer tour. Yes, it's a bunch of railroad ties, 2x4s, and a steel door which is covered up with dirt. Now I'm going to explain Gertie to you, my girlfriend. Yes, Gertie is known as a giant ground sloth, the Megalonyx. She's a Jefferson ground sloth. She stands 15 feet tall. She became extinct 11 to 20,000 years ago. She roamed the area up above during the Ice Age along with the woolly mammoth and the saber-toothed tiger. Now if you notice Gertie's tail, she was a vegetarian back in her day, a carnivore. This is how she held herself up when she ate trees. Guess what saber-toothed tigers ate? Ground sloth, so there's your food chain right there. Well, I just figured out that Gertie would make a lot of hamburger, and you know what I have to call them? I have to call them Slothy Joes. Yeah, I think let's put that on the menu. Guess what, you guys? This is where Gertie fell. If she would have fallen on us today, we'd have 1 ton of animal landing on us. We would not have a chance to get away. When she did fall, she did hurt herself, but not quite hard enough to make her way back out through Walter's natural entrance. We see all of her claw marks on the limestone wall. She clawed away so frantically trying to get out of here that one of her claws, the tip of it snapped right off, was embedded in the limestone. One of the miners found it, took it to the showcase upstairs where we have on display in the very 3rd showcase in wooden box, along with all wedding pictures and Walter and his brother Miles pulling up a dope and rope. Poor Gertie, she never made it out of here back in 1957. When the Reenspees family did all this estimating, put this platform in, this is where they found 95% of Gertie's bones. They took her bones to U of A, University of Arizona in Tucson, where they have her reconstructed, and she's there to date. Again, we have a photograph of her reconstruction in that same showcase upstairs. Now, we carbon dated Gertie's bones. Gertie was only 1 year old when she fell through Walter's natural entrance. This is a life-size replica of Gertie at 1 year old. That is one giant animal with a heavy heart and a very sad story to go along with it. By the way, folks, this is where Bob, my mummified bobcat, fell, and when he fell, he landed on rocks, broke most of the bones in his body. He crawled all that way in the dark towards the mist room. We found him dead, so we laid him to rest where we found him. 2 sad stories right there. All right, we're going down the flight of stairs, so please watch your step. They're very much uneven, have slope to them. Use the railing to guide yourself down. Here we go, you guys are going down. This last step's a tall step, please watch your step. You're going to feel forward momentum in this bench. Ramp has a slope to it. Now that step's a tall step, you're going to feel slope. There you go. Again, this is part of the scaffolding from the Hoover Dam. The Reenspees family have first rights to the wood. The nails are the same nails, the wood is the same wood. Because we are such a dry cavern, there isn't any dry rot. The only thing you see worn away are the handrails from us going down 104 feet to the lower caverns below. All right, as you notice, I do name things, by the way. The rock in front of us, I named him Kid Rock. The one behind Kid Rock, that's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So we want to stay to the left. Now, you're a tall person too. Watch your head on that point. See this point right here?
Yeah.
There's a cartoon series called Felix the Cat. There's a character in there called Poindexter. Well, I named this one Point Dexter, because he's a point that will try and get across you. So watch your hand on that point. So what you're going to do is you're going to hug the rail to your left and move over to the right, because on the left, I named this rock ahead of us the late boxer Muhammad Ali, and he will knock you out. So we want to stay to the right. Now these steps go really deep right here. I'm best to the right. Watch out for the late boxer Muhammad Ali, better known as in his early boxing days, Cassius Clay. Watch your head. Watch your head. Nice stuck in there, Governor. Watch your head. Watch it. Okay, you got it. Okay, here you go. Uh-oh, watch out for him. He's looking for his website. I named him Sirius. Last name's Angela. He's a Angela.
We get those on the house all the time.
Now the theater CCC right here came from the AFI, American Film Institute. They were bought by my brother-in-law Mike in 2012 from MGM Studios in Warner Brothers in Hollywood, California. Because we are such a dry cavern, they're going to stay well preserved. Now we figure that famous movie star sat in these series such as Marilyn Monroe, Jackie Gleason, John Travolta, Frank Sinatra, Alfred Hitchcock, even Steven Spielberg to watch your own films. I'm going to add one of those onto my list because I did work with this famous comedian. I met him back in 1970 at the Improv in Hollywood, California. Well, I went inside to see his headline that evening. I was laughing so hard at his jokes and his humor, I had tears coming out of my eyes. Do you know what this comedian did? He offered me to do some stand-up comedy with him, and I took him up with the offer. This is the kind of comedian he was. I miss him so much, you guys. He passed away August 11th, 2014. His name is the late comedian Robin Williams. What an honor, what a gentleman, what a highlight of my life to work with such a genius. I had no idea who he was. He was just starting his comedy circuit. Then I see him on this TV show called Mork and Mindy. And I watched Mork and Mindy till it went off the air. Yes, Nanu Nanu Shazbot. An amazing man, by the way. He would have been 71 on the 21st of July. He just had his birthday 2 days ago. Just amazing. Another one I met this one at Horta Editorial and Sound in Hollywood, California. This sound studio I was in all day long does nothing but cartoon series. The one I heard all day long was the Ren and Stimpy show. When a gentleman came walking through the front door and I could not believe who I saw. Well, he was actually walking in to do his voiceover for the cartoon series, The Life with Louie. I met the late Louie Henderson. Two amazing comedians, by the way, just amazing. You know what else is amazing? Hey, you can smoke back in an ashtray. No cup holders or drink racks are between our legs by the time the show is over. We had very cold legs and stereo speakers back then. Today we have surround sound. This does tell about the Cavern Suite. On the right side, we're from a stone like crystal. We call it Richard Crystal. Looks like a block of ice. When Walter Peck was going down into these caverns with a lantern and a flickered flame, he thought he found diamonds. He didn't find anything, just selenite crystals, which isn't worth much. But to me, it is worth something. Do you know why? I named him Billy Crystal, because Bill and Robert were possibly so close to each other. Now, we have a signpost up there that says caution, paranormal activity recorded here. This results Zach Bacon. It's very good on Feelings Only Jay from the TV show Ghost Adventures. They're standing up for Casper the Friendly Ghost is when they have a rock going in this direction. Well, folks, if you're watching an episode, that rock ended up on that side of the camera. It's over there. Guess what we do? Guess what we do? We offer a ghost walk, and this is on Fridays and Saturdays only. It starts at 6 o'clock at night, ends at 7. It is a 1-hour tour. What we do is we give you guys an EMF device, electromagnetic field device, which is called a ghost meter, and a flashlight. We turn all lights off in the caverns, and you get to walk around totally in the dark with a tour guide looking for ghosts. That's what a ghost is on. By the way, folks, this is our second half of Cathedral Dome. The one I showed you before was right here. We could not see this one because we're actually standing in that vicinity right over there. That is our second half of Cathedral Dome. I'm going to show a rare form of a selenite crystal I call the Easter Bunny. She's in the crescent moon. I'm going to point out to it with my laser pointer. The little black dot right there is her tail. That's her body, her head, and her ears. And she's actually looking up in that cavern right there by a Peter Cottontail. I named her Sparkle. When I walk by with my flashlight on her, she sparkles back at us. But guess what, folks? She's an endangered species. Do you know why? Look at that giant fish right there about ready to make Welsh ribbon out of her. Oh my gosh, you guys, we got shellfish on the menu. We have to call it rock cod. Well, guess what, you guys? You see the sink right down here? I named it Molly Brown because it is the unsinkable Molly Brown. And guess what Sparkle's going to do? She's going to sparkle back for us, and there she goes. Now we're going to go for a third man-made tall, so 40 foot tall, 20 cases of dynamite. Let's hold out. Tall people need to drop no ceiling.
Flashlight. Right on the thing. Mm-hmm.
And we have plenty of water for us.